Oh, it's lovely to see you.
You too.
Thank you
so
very
much.
much.
For having me.
Thank you for coming in. There's so much going on in your life right now. We'll talk about the play in a second, but I went to see Now You See Me Too last week, and I loved it.
Oh, thanks a lot.
I love the kind of the very slow unveiling. You get guessing right until the end.
Yes, exactly.
But the fun that it seems that you guys have as an ensemble cast, on both sides of the fence, the good guys and the bad guys,
Yeah.
it just seems like a lot of fun to be part of.
Yeah, it's this really unusual thing where they got like 8 amazing actors together, and you would think it would be the kind of thing that everybody would kind of go in dreading because you have to like share screen time, but actually it's the exact opposite. For some reason, it's this great group of people, great actors, but for some reason we're kind of like we realize that we're better together than we are separately, and we even like Woody Harrelson, to me, is like one of the funniest guys in the world. Will like actually like say like, hey, you take this joke, it's mine in the script, but I think actually you work better with you, and it just creates this wonderful ensemble environment. And then the movie celebrates like teamwork in a really wonderful way, and it celebrates craftiness and cleverness and effort, and I think like we as a cast kind of take on that spirit.
There's some fantastic scenes as well, individually but also as a group that are just they're electric to watch. There's the scene in the vault where you're all trying to get this thing. Don't want to give anything away. This thing, and it's the choreography of it. Your eyes are like they're going at 100 miles an hour, trying to kind of wait. What? Yeah, it's
exactly.
So clever.
Yeah, we went to like this is Now You See Me 2. We also did Now You See Me 1. We went to like magic boot camp for a few weeks for both of the movies. So
can anyone go? I mean, I want to sign up for that immediately.
If they make a third one and you're in it, yes, you get to go.
Scottish horsemen, I like that.
Yes, exactly. Try to represent the whole UK. So like we went to like a magic boot camp. So we like did choreography for like 4 days for this one scene, and then it took 5 days to shoot, which is like it's like a 2-minute scene, but it took like 5 days to shoot, 4 days to rehearse for, and it's just the most incredible thing. We're trying to pass this kind of card computer chip around without getting noticed, and it's just the most incredible scene. When we read the script, we thought, my God, this is phenomenal. We better do this justice, and so we all rehearsed very kind of excitedly every day to make sure we got it right.
And can you actually make rain stop? I mean, you're in the right place if you can, because we've had a lot of it recently.
Yes, no, you can do it, but it requires... So in the movie, my character makes like the rain stop and then the rain go up. And this actually can happen. Not with the real rain, but you need a rain machine and you need a strobe light. And if you have these two things kind of synced up, like I explain it, I think, towards the end of the movie, like, or very briefly, like... if you sync up a strobe light with a rain machine, you can actually make it appear as though the rain is going up. All the magic in this movie, even though it's incredible and extravagant, can actually be physically done.
Well, that's what the movie does, which I love as well, because it makes you feel involved in it. It explains, they all kind of explain what they're doing. It's not kind of like, ha, you'll never know how I did this.
Yes.
It's really... It's involving for the audience as well.
Yeah, that's what I loved about the movie, because I grew up watching magic. My mom was a birthday party clown, and her colleague, whenever she was sick, was a magician. So if my mom couldn't do a birthday party, the magician would do it. So we grew up with him in the family, and I loved his magic, but I was always frustrated by it because I didn't know how it was done. And so when I got to do Now You See Me, and learn how all this stuff was done, and tell the audience how we did this incredible stuff, it felt like kind of a great, almost Freudian relief.
It feels like this is something that could, there's more stories to tell with it, and there's more journeys for the horsemen to go on as well. I really hope so, as a fan of the two films.
Oh, thanks. And, people love these movies. It's the strangest thing. I've been in a lot of movies. I've been in movies that are, kind of more popular even, but for some reason, the movie I get stopped, on the street for more than anything is Now You See Me. People just love the movie. I think it's the movie, like you said, that kind of feels like the audience is really interacting with it, and it feels like it doesn't really talk down to the audience, that it kind of respects their intelligence, but also tries to kind of trick them occasionally. And I don't know. I think it's just a kind of really interactive experience.
I had a really bizarre experience watching it, and there's a scene where Dave Franco has these kind of life-size playing cards.
Right.
I think he's in Covent Garden or somewhere doing this kind of trick. Greenwich.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the guys that he picks out the audience to move the cards, I know him.
Yes.
And I'm kind of
bald
like,
man.
Yeah. I'm
yes.
like, hold on a minute. I'm like, I know, and I'm trying to rack my brains. It's like, but it was so bizarre.
He is a producer.
For
the
BBC, I think.
That's right.
Or something. Yeah,
yes.
It was so bizarre.
And he's a twin, isn't he?
Yes. Did you have both of them?
I wasn't there for that scene, but I think so.
That's
yes.
hilarious.
Yes, I think there probably was. It's,
wow.
Yeah, cheaper to shoot when there's two guys. You don't have to work them half a day.
It's when it comes to the script for a sequel, I'm assuming you didn't sign up at the start for X number of films for this.
No.
You do one and then see what happens. But when you got sent, you kind of sent the script. Was it immediate for you? It's kind of like, yeah, I want to do more. I want to be out. I want to play Atlas again.
Yeah, I wanted to play the character again, but when they first sent the script, we all thought it didn't do the first movie justice, and then they sent another one, and we said, no, still not there yet, but getting better. They wrote about like maybe 8 scripts of like different plot lines, different characters, different storylines, and until we all felt that it was really good. I mean, there are like 9 like very busy, working good actors in this movie, so I think we all had other stuff that we could have done. So we weren't just signing on to a movie that we thought would be popular. We wanted to like make sure it was right. The first script we thought was really not good, and then the one that we made we thought was not only great, but we thought and hoped better than the first one.
Great to be in that position when you go, nah, not good enough. Next, please.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I'm not like eating peeled grapes or anything, but we do have some judgment.
And you're a writer yourself, so your standards are high.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Lizzie Kaplan's great in this as well.
Yeah, she's hysterical.
She's a force of nature. She
really is.
She kind of literally sucker punches you as soon as she comes on screen. She's fantastic.
Yes, that's exactly right. She's an unusual talent who stepped into this movie. She actually wasn't in the first one, and for some reason, she not only kind of felt very comfortable, but the strange thing was she kind of like stole the show.
She's really good.
Yeah.
The music as well. It was funny because we sort of got in the mood for you coming in by playing 3 tracks from some of your films, and I spent last night going through all your old films, looking at all the soundtracks and picking a mixture of films. So we played The Cure, Just Like Heaven, and Big Star, I'm in Love with a Girl from Adventureland,
right?
And then we did Perry Como from this one. But the list was incredible.
Yes.
That's something I imagine for you though you don't get to know or appreciate until you see the film. It's not something that's
no, I never
about.
even watch. I don't watch the movies I've been in, so actually I don't know what's in them or how they sound. Sometimes I will ask the composer, which is not the same exact thing you're talking about because you're talking about like actual
music
song. Yeah, but I will ask the composer to give me any music that they've written during the movie, so while I'm filming, so I can kind of have it in my head, and so that I can have some kind of emotional crutch. But no, I don't know what the music is in movies, although you're filming a scene and sometimes you think, I hope this scene works out, and then they put some awesome song underneath, and then you realize everything you're doing on set is irrelevant.
Do you still not watch anything then?
No, I avoid everything.
Have you seen this?
No. This interview?
No.
Yes, I've watched. No.
Well, you can because it's been filmed.
That's
weirdly
true.
enough,
that's true.
That's bonkers.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, I come from my background is in theater.
Yeah.
I don't have, I'm not in the kind of like the business of celebrating my own face. You do a play and, you obviously can't see it unless there's a big mirror at the back of the theater. And so, no, I just get uncomfortable with the whole thing, of looking at, I mean, the only thing I could think of when people ask me about this is like, if you ever hear your voice on something, which obviously you do because you're a radio host, but I mean, for the average person, if you ever hear your voice on something, you kind of recoil in disgust.
Totally.
And so you try to amplify that feeling by about 1 million, and that's what it feels like to see your movie.
We have to do these things called Snoop sessions every now and again where you have to listen back to the show and critique it.
Oh, really?
It's
really?
hell.
What do you discover?
You could be better, basically.
What do you not like about, or what do you discover about yourself to change?
It's not about yourself. It's more about how you deliver things, and about if you kind of, if you go on too long talking about one thing, if there's too many ums and ahs and all that kind of stuff.
I see.
It's kind of quite good to critique
That sounds
yourself.
actually
It's the
really
only
wonderful.
way to make yourself better and improve, sort of thing.
That's really wonderful.
Do you do that with theatre? Because I guess it's so immediate that
Yes.
you kind of can go, I should have done that better, or next performance I want to.
Yes,
do
100%.
Do you do that?
Yes, I mean, well, I will say, like, last night was our, I think, 40th show in London, and we did 90 performances in New York City, and I've rehearsed the show. I wrote the show for, like, over the course of 6 months, and last night was the first time I ever, like, achieved this one thing that I've been trying to achieve for, I don't know, now, like, 3 years with the same show. And I was telling Kunal Nair, my co-actor, in the dressing room at intermission, I was like, finally, I got that. I realized I just have to look at this guy when I say this line. And so we do stuff like that. So it's not like kind of retroactively criticizing us, but it's like figuring out, based on having a new audience each night, what's working. And you have a different kind of social experiment group each night by having a different group of 400 people kind of interacting with it.
It was really. I love when you were talking about asking the composer about music with the films that you're in to help you kind of, I guess, get into a mind space. Did you do that for Batman versus Superman for Lex? Because I imagine him being a character in terms of getting into that mind frame of someone you want to encompass that whole idea.
There was no music written prior to that because they knew that the movie was going to take like years to edit because there was so many effects and everything. So I actually talked to the writer, who's a friend of mine, Chris Terrio, who wrote the script for the Batman movie, and he gave me some tracks that he thought Lex would listen to. I can't remember the names. It was all classical music.
Yeah.
This kind of Lex probably listens to like Wagner. It was the same thing that like Adolf Hitler listened to.
Yeah.
This kind of like very grand music that a megalomaniac would listen to.
Yeah, was that a fun experience? And I know you're going to revisit that as well with Justice League, which is
Yeah.
exciting.
Oh yeah, I mean it was like the most fun character to ever play. Because when you're playing, when you're playing a character that the audience is not supposed to like, you're able to do everything that you want to do because you don't have to worry about offending anybody. You don't have to worry about a ceiling. You could kind of do anything physically, vocally, behaviorally that you could think of. Because you don't have to worry that this group of the audience is not going to be on board with whatever it is. So it's just the most totally freeing, least vain kind of character you can play.
I heard you say that you, what was lovely about it, even it being this massive kind of, blockbuster film that you were part of it feeling really intimate and indie, and especially with the scenes that you did with Holly Hunter and stuff, and you've been a big fan of hers, and it feeling almost kind of quite theatrical.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the movie is like, I don't know, one of the biggest movies ever made, but for my character, it's really not. For my character, he's in a lot of kind of dialogue-driven, emotional, great dramatic scenes. And this writer, Chris Terrio, the script that he wrote right before this was Argo. He's just a wonderful writer. And so he wrote great scenes for my character that were, I would say, like totally, unusual in a kind of superhero type movie.
I loved kind of visually how you looked as well. It was like the shaved head and stuff. It was really like striking and kind of like, whoa! Great.
Yeah, it was really fun for me too. I haven't gotten a haircut since I'm like, I don't know, probably ever. I don't know. I think I came out of the womb with a big head of curly hair, and so like to get a haircut, especially to get it in like a movie setting, felt like I don't know. I think really cathartic.
Let's talk about the play, The Spoils, because it's at the Trafalgar Studios Theatre in London till the middle of August.
Mm-hmm.
And for a lot of people, they won't know that this is something that you've written, and it's the third play that you've written. Is that right?
Yeah.
Because theatre is a big part of where you started and what you still do, sort of thing. The writing and starting in it, was that always the idea that you're writing a vehicle for yourself? You're writing something you want to be part of?
No, on the contrary, it's my third play. With all three plays, I tried to not act in them because I wanted to kind of have the experience of the playwright, and then it just, for whatever set of reasons, in my second play, the actress Vanessa Redgrave played the main part, and she only wanted to do it if I acted alongside her, so I played that part. And then in the last play, which is the one I'm currently doing, I offered it to like 7 other guys when we did it in New York last year, and they were all busy, or at least they said they were busy. And one of them was Dan Radcliffe, who's in Now You See Me Too. And Dan was doing a movie at the time, or at least allegedly. And so I was kind of like, forced into it. I think it's probably for the best, because once I'm doing it, I kind of like it, but I just get so nervous going on stage that I feel like I want to avoid the experience of having like stage fright for 6 months. So, but ultimately doing it is like very rewarding. It's just that initial anxiety, makes me feel like I should send it to somebody else.
Where did the idea for this Spoils come from? What was the kind of seed for it, the play?
I'm interested in other cultures. My 3 plays are about like American interactions with other cultures, and I'm interested in immigration and race, and I started writing scenes between a character that is kind of based on the worst version of me, a privileged, lazy American who's been given a lot and appreciates nothing, and I started writing a scene between that guy and a real friend of mine, this Nepalese guy who I met in Kathmandu, named Kalyan, who's this very earnest guy who's studying social justice and seems to be doing everything right in the world, has been given not very much and appreciates everything. And I thought this strange juxtaposition between this kind of selfish, privileged American and this sweet, upstart from a poorer country was not only an interesting relationship, but also could be inherently very dramatic, can discuss socio-political themes, the stuff I'm interested in, and also be very funny. Because my character, and if you see the play, you realize like my character is crass and obnoxious and arrogant, and this other guy is so sweet and earnest, and then increasingly strong over the play. But it creates this very funny dynamic between a guy who kind of says the worst things that you've ever heard, and the other guy who's like trying to constantly put a Band-Aid on it.
Yeah, it's on at Trafalgar Studios till the middle of August, and it's called The Spoils. It's a great watch. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Like you say, within the space of a sentence of dialogue, you're kind of belly laughing at the start, and then you're literally almost like disgusted by the end of it. It's so clever and fast and kind
thanks.
of, yeah, and really kind of apt in terms of the current climate and stuff of the subject matter and things like that. It's brilliant.
Yeah, I think I mean I feel bad for the kind of the difficult political decisions that people have had to make over the course of the last month here in England, and but I also feel really fortunate that the play talks about these things. The play talks about this character is an immigrant to America, and my character is a kind of constantly telling him he has to go back home and that no one wants him here. And it's really interesting because I was thinking not about obviously England when I was writing it. I wasn't really even thinking about America. I was just thinking about my own feelings of feeling like a third generation American who maybe feels like he has to struggle to get what his parents didn't have to struggle for, and now his position is being usurped by somebody who's working twice as hard and comes from a poor country. And so I was thinking about stuff like that, which I see in New York on a daily basis, of course, but it seems to kind of dovetail with what people are discussing all around the world.
Now, here on Virgin Radio, we have a great selection of presenters, and we have one in particular, Matt Richardson, who's on in the afternoon. Now, he's recorded a little something which is an apology to you. If you wouldn't mind me just playing this for you, okay?
Hi, Jesse Eisenberg. My name is Matt Richardson. I do the afternoons on Virgin. A couple of weeks ago, you were in a car outside London studios, and it wasn't yours, and it was mine and my friends. And I'm really sorry about what happened, but we did kick you out of the cab.
Sure.
But she is quite a scary lady. She's pretty terrifying. And you looked quite intimidated by her. So I just want to say that I've been really thinking about this, and I can't pass up the opportunity to say sorry. I'm really sorry that it was such a weird situation. And I just want to say, I know you're in London at the moment doing your play. I've heard it's amazing. I'd love to come. I mean, free tickets.
Sure.
I'm more than happy
Cheeky.
to accept those.
Yeah.
But please let me take you on a night out. And say sorry. We'll have a drink away from a woman who is known for drinking. You've got Jersey Shore in America. She's from Geordie Shore.
Right.
But Geordie Shore makes Jersey Shore look like Sesame Street.
Right. So that wasn't so much an apology as a request for tickets.
For free tickets.
Yeah.
And can I give you a word of warning?
What?
I mean, Matt says that, a night out, it would be into the early hours because...
Okay, so an exhausting night and free tickets.
Yeah.
No apology, really.
And you never got a word in edgeways with him, to be
That's
honest.
true. Yeah. A one-directional message with a faux apology. About somebody else, by the way. He wasn't even apologizing for himself.
Exactly.
Yes,
Yeah. I mean, blaming it
and
all
a
on
request
her.
for tickets.
Slightly sexist, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. And maybe we could make a response.
Yeah, feel free.
Okay, no.
What's next? What's happening after you finish with the spoils in August? Are you?
I wrote and directed this TV series, so hopefully we'll go to I did it as a pilot. I wrote a book
great.
last year called Bream Gives Me Hiccups. Actually,
Yeah.
maybe it just came out in paperback. I think this week actually. And so I adapted the book into a television show, so I'm doing that.
You can't stop, can you? You've got to.
No, but you do. I mean, most people can't stop. I remember I grew up and, my father, I barely saw the man. He's
Same.
working so much. And then on the weekends, my mother was, as I said, she was a birthday party clown. So she was never there on the weekends. So, because she was doing birthday parties. And then me, I'm like an actor. I have 6 months out of the year off because I'm acting and stuff. And then I have, a lot of time off. And everybody tells me, my goodness, you don't stop. But really, the truth is when you're an actor, I think people, A, expect you to never work because most actors never work. And B, you're on movie posters. So it appears like you're busier than you are because people see you on a movie poster and just unconsciously think you're busy by virtue of you. But you probably filmed that a year and a half ago for, a few weeks.
Yeah.
And then you're watching it pass by on a bus like everybody else. And so I think people give actors too much credit for being busy.
Well, listen, we've got Now You See Me 2 is out now in cinemas. Spoils is in the theatre. We've got Justice League to look forward to.
Sure.
We've got more Now You See Me to look forward to.
I hope so. Yeah.
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 When will you know?
I think what they do is like they see it has to like come out in each country. Like I think it's like one of the most popular movies in China right now. So this is like something that they take into account all these metrics and determine if it's worthwhile for them to try to make another one. And then once the movie company decides they want to make another one, then the creative people have to decide if they feel it's creatively worthy. So we're not up to that stage yet.
And keep making movies with Kirsten as well, because I love watching you two together
thanks a
on
lot.
screen. It's
I'll let her
absolutely
know.
brilliant.
Thank you.
Please do. Listen, thank you for coming in.
Yeah,
so
thanks a
nice
lot.
to see you.
Thanks, great show.
And bless you. Thank you so much. Come back anytime and talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Thank you so much.
We got 2 tracks to finish off with. You can choose whether we play another track that featured in Adventureland or The Verve. What do you want to go for?
I have allegiance to Rock Me Amadeus. I'm sorry.
Awesome. JC Eisenberg, absolute pleasure, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.